Okay, teacher. So students, today we are going to learn about a poem Try Anti Wanty Gongolop. Okay, so in this poem there is a funny insect. Okay, see here, there is a funny insect which we will learn in this poem. Okay, so see, it is a poem about a funny insect. Okay, now is it real or is it not real? You have to find out. Okay, so see first stanza from the poem. Okay, so see first stanza. There is a very funny insect that you do not often spy, and it is not quite a spider and it is not quite a fly. It is something like a beetle and a little like a bee, but nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. Its name is quite a hard one, but you will learn it soon. I hope so. Try, try, anti-wanty, gone gulp. Okay, you have to read with me also. Next stanza. It lives on weeds and wattle gums and has a funny face. Its appetite is hearty and its manners a disgrace. When first you come upon it, it will give you quite a scare. But when you look for it again, you find it is not there. And unless you call it softly, it will stay away and mop. So try anti-wanty gongola. Okay. Third stanza. It trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. It is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. If you sneer at it or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame, but it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. So try anti-wanty gongola. Last stanza, but of course you have not seen it, and I truthfully confess that I have not seen it either, and I don't know its address. For there is not such an insect, though there really might have been if the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. It's just a little joke of mine, which you will forgive. I hope. Oh, try anti-wanty gongolap. Okay, so it is our poem. Now I'm explaining you first stanza. Stanza by stanza, I will explain you the poem. Okay, you have to concentrate, and if you are facing any problem, then you raise your hand. Okay, so see here, first stanza. There is a funny insect that you do not often spy. Spy means see. Okay, so poet is telling here that there is a funny insect. Okay, and you do not often see it. Okay, and it is not quite a spider, it is not quite a fly. The insect is not like a spider and is not like a fly. It is something like a beetle and a little like a bee. Okay, so the insect is neither like a spider nor like a fly, but it is something like a beetle and like a bee. Beetle and bee. Okay, now it is but nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. Its name is quite a hard one, but you will learn it soon, I hope. So the poet is telling that it is not like the woolly little fat worm. Okay, so it is the woolly worm. I think you ever saw these woolly grub. Okay, so it is not like the woolly little fat worm that climbs upon a tree. Okay, we can find out that woolly grub on the tree. Okay, and he say its name the Trianthifontigongolop, and it's quite hard to pronounce. Okay, so here the poet C.J. Dennis is telling that the name of that insect is quite hard, and it is hard to pronounce. Okay, but I hope that you will pronounce it soon. Okay, so see the first stanza of the poem. There is a funny insect that you do not often spy. Here, the poet C.J. Dennis is a very creative one. Okay, and here he is described an imaginary insect which he named the Trianthifonte gongolop. He says that this is a very funny insect which is rarely seen. Neither it is a spider nor a fly, but a combined resemblance of beetle and bee. Means sometimes it look like a beetle and sometimes it look like a bee, but nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. Okay, so here it's not even like a soft fat worm. Its name is quite hard to pronounce. The poet C.J. Dennis is telling that his name is quite hard to pronounce. Okay, the poet aware about the pronunciation of the name of insect. He knows that it is very difficult to pronounce and spell. Okay, so further poet is saying that the name of that rarely seen insect is hard. It is quite difficult, but the poet has hope from readers that we will try it and learn it eventually. Okay, so this is our first stanza. Now see second stanza. Here in the second stanza, the poet is saying he lives on a, it means in the second stanza the poet is telling about his survivor, means the survive of the insect. Okay, so in the second stanza here it lives on weeds and wattle gums. Okay, so wattle gum means gum obtained from a tree in the form of reddish tear or lumps. Okay, so see, it lives on weeds and wattle gum and has a funny face. Its appetite is hearty and its manner a disgrace. Okay, so see, appetite means desire for food. Okay, appetite means desire for food. And disgrace means dishonor or shame. Disgrace means what? Dishonor and shame. Okay, so appetite means desire for food and disgrace means dishonor or shame. Okay, so further the poet is saying he lives on a weeds and wattle gum, and wattle means what? Unwanted plants, we can say. Okay, so wattle gum and has a funny face. Okay, so the insect lives on weeds and gums from the certain trees. It has a funny face. When first you come upon it, it will give you quite a scare. Okay, so its appetite is large and its manners are quite disgraceful. Okay, means shame, dishonor. It gives one quite a scare when one first comes across it. When you will see first time to that insect, okay, then you will definitely scare to that insect. Okay, so but when you look for it again, when you will see that insect again, you find it is not there. Okay, means you will not fear, you will not scares to the insect. Okay, and you must call it softly and see, but when you look for it again, you find it is not there, and unless you call it softly, it will stay away and mop. So try. Mop means brood or sulk. Okay, so see here the poet is saying here Uh, it gives one quite a scare when one first comes across it, but when you look for it again, you find it is not there, and you must call it softly or it will stay away. Then, feeling very sorry for itself, the poet once again asks you try the pronounce these insects name. Try anti wanti gongolap. Okay, so see here in the second stanza, the poet says that it survives on weeds and the gum from certain trees. Funny face, large appetite, and disgraceful manners are its characteristics. Okay, we have learned that uh, its appetite is large and its manners are quietly disgraceful, means dishonest. Okay, or shame. Okay, so funny face, large appetite, and disgraceful manners are its characteristics. Okay, its first look seems to be scary, but you must call it softly, or else it will stay away and feeling sorry for itself. Okay, and poet again one time telling us that try the pronunciation of that name of the insect. Try anti wanti gongolap. Okay, now see third stanza. In the third stanza, the poet tells us something more about this insect. It trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. Okay, so see in the third stanza, tremble means shake or vibrate, mostly out of fear. So tremble means shake or vibrate. Okay, so see here, it trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. It is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. Snubbish means short, fat, and turn up at the end like of nose. Okay, we can say short or fat nose. Okay, so see in the third stanza, the poet is describing more about that insect, and it trembles if you tickle it or step upon its toes. Okay, so tread means what? Walk or step carefully. Okay, so here poet is saying it trembles, it shake, the insect shake if you tickle it, if you try to touch it or tread upon its toes, or you will step upon its toes. It is not an early riser. It has a fat nose turn up at the end. Then, if you give it an unpleasant look or scold it, it will run away in shame. With a quick short step, but it purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches or sealing wax and soap. So here in this stanza, the poet is saying that if you tickle or step upon its toes, it trembles. The insect shake. Okay, if you're trying to touch, okay, if you're trying to step up uh, towards the insect, okay, then the insect will tremble. It will shake. Okay, now see, it is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. Okay, so poet is telling here that it has a fat nose, okay, and turn up at the end. So here in the stanza, the poet is describing about that funny insect. Okay, so here the poet is describing about his nose. Okay, so when you're trying to touch to that insect, okay, it will shake, then it trembles. Okay, and it has a snubbish nose. Snubbish nose means short and fat nose. Okay, if you sneer at it. Sneer means an unpleasant look or smile. Sneer means unpleasant look or smile. Okay. If you will give an unpleasant look or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. Okay, scuttle means to run with quick, short step. Scuttle means to run with quick, short step. Okay, so here the poet is telling that if you sneer means if you will give unpleasant look or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. Okay, so it will run away in shame with quick and short steps. Okay, so but it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name, but it will purse quite proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches or sealing wax and soap. So here poet again telling that to pronounce his name, that is try, anti, wanti, gongolap. Okay, now see third last stanza. But of course you have not seen it, and I truthfully confess that I have not seen it either, and I do not know its address. Okay, so finally the poet is telling that the poet reveals his secret. He says that there is not such an insect, but there might have been one provided. Okay, so see, the poet finally gives out his secret truthfully. Here the poet is saying truthfully to us that the readers may not have been this insect, neither has he, the poet, nor does he know where it lives. Means poet didn't know anything about that insect. Okay, it is an imaginary insect, it is not the real insect. The poet only imagine about the insect. Got it? It is not the real insect. Okay, so finally poet gives out his secret. Finally poet is gives out the secret of all description, whatever description we have done first. Okay, means in first stanza, second stanza, then third stanza. So here now poet is telling about the truthfulness. Okay, he says that the reader may not have seen this insect. Okay, the poet nor does he know where it lives. Means the poet doesn't know that where the insect lives, and he, means poet, says that there is not such an insect, but there might have been one, provided that the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. He says that it was just a joke, and he asked the reader to forgive him for his joke. But at the end, he once again asked the reader to pronounce the name Tai Antivanti Gongolop. So, see students here, it is the insect described in the poem is a real insect? No, it is not a real insect. Okay, so poet is telling us the imaginary insect. Okay, he just imagined about one insect, and he describe that imaginary insect in this poem. The name of that poem, Try Antivanti Gongolap. Okay, and he describe us how he looks, where he survives, okay, and what he eat, okay, and what he do when you try to touch it. Okay, now see all the things here just describe here poet describe with us, but see what is the important thing in here, that is it is an imaginary insect, not a real insect. So in the last stanza the poet confess with us. Okay, so he is telling his secret that it is not a real insect. Okay, I have not seen it, and I don't know where he lives. Okay, for there is not such an insect, through there really might have been. Okay, if the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green, it's just a little joke of mine which you will forgive, I hope. So here the poet is telling that I make a joke I'll make a little joke here, and I hope you will forgive me for my joke. And he once again asked the reader, means asked to us to pronounce the name try, anti, wanti, gone, golap. Okay, so see here from first stanza, the poet is in a very imaginative mood in this poem. Okay, he talks about an imaginary insect which he calls the try, anti, wanti, gone, golap. The poet calls that imaginary insect try, anti, wanti, gone, golap. Okay, so he says that this is a very funny insect that you do not often see. Okay, you do not often spy. It is neither like a spider nor like a fly. It is something like a beetle and little like a bee. So here the poet is saying the insect, that insect is not like a spider and not like a spy. Okay, but it's something like a beetle and like a bee. Means here in this poem the poet combined resemblance of the insect with beetle and bee. Okay, so you know beetle is this kind of insect and bee is this kind of insect. Okay, and woolly grub is this kind of insect, and you ever see that woolly grub on the tree, on the plants. Okay, so see further the poet is telling that it is not like the woolly little fat worm that climbs upon a tree. He says its name, the try, anti, wanti, gongolap. And the poet is telling that the name of that insect is quite hard to pronounce. Okay, but poet has hope that we will, means the reader will pronounce the pronunciation of that insect try, anti, wanti, gongolap, and reader will learn it and they will pronounce properly that name of that insect. Okay, now see in the second stanza, it lives on a weeds and water gums. Means here the poet is telling about the survives of that insect. Okay, where he lives. Okay, and he is saying that the insect lives on weeds and the gum from the certain trees. It has a funny face. Here the poet is describing about his face. Uh, it has funny face. Okay, when first you come upon it, and further the poet is telling about his appetite. Appetite is large and its manners are quite disgraceful. Okay, and it gives one quite scarce when one first come on across it. Okay, so here the poet is telling about his appetite. Okay, and the appetite is in manner, in a disgrace, in disgrace manner. Okay, means a shame, dishonor manner. Okay, when first you come upon it, it will give you quite a scare. Okay, when you step up, when you when you come towards that insect, okay, you will quite scare. Okay, but when you look for it again, you find it is not there. Okay, but when you look for it again, when you will come again to see that insect, okay, you will not find that insect on that place. Okay, and you must call it softly or it will stay away. Then, feeling very sorry for itself, the poet once again asks to reader the pronounce the name of that insect, try, anti, wanti, gongolap. Okay, now see next stanza. The poet is telling in the next stanza, the poet tells us something more about this insect in this stanza. Okay, So see, the poet is telling that it trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. Okay, when means if you try to touch that, um, if you try to step upon that insect, okay, it trembles. It trembles means it will shake. Okay, it trembles if you tickle it or step upon its toes. It is not an early riser. It has a fat nose turned up at the end. Okay, means it is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. It has a snubbish means what? Short or fat nose. Okay, if you sneer at it or scold it, sneer means you will give unpleasant look. Sneer means unpleasant look. Okay, if you will give unpleasant look or smile or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. Okay, scuttle means ran away. Okay, so it will run away in shame, but it purrs and purrs quietly provide quite proudly if you call it by its name. Okay, if you sneer, okay, if you will give unpleasant look to the insect, okay, it will scuttle off, it will run away in shame. Okay, but if you proudly call it, if you proudly call the name of that insect, and if you will offer that insect sandwiches of sealing wax and soap, then it will come to you again. Okay, and the poet is telling again to reader that pronounce the name that try anti wanti gongalap. Okay, now see in the last stanza the poet finally gives out his secret. Now the poet is telling all about that insect, that it is not the real insect. Okay, now finally the poet reveals his secret. He says that there is not such a insect, but there might have been one, provided that the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. He says that it was just a joke, and he asks the reader to forgive him for his joke. And at the end, again the poet is telling us, again the poet is asking us to pronounce the name try anti wanti gongolap. Black with a hard case on its back and wings above. Okay, so beetle is a kind of insect, and it has large and black with a hard case on its back and wings above. Okay, now see, you know the bee. Okay, now see, woolly grub. Woolly grub is is also kind of insect. Okay, that climbs upon a tree. Okay, grub means the young form of an insect that looks like a small and fat worm. Okay, now next word is wattle gum. Okay, wattle gum means the gum obtained from a tree in the form of reddish tears or lumps. Okay, if you try to obtain, if you try to take out the gum from the trees, okay, then you know that how it's looking. It's look like a reddish color. Okay, so see, wattle gum means what? Gum obtained from a tree in the form of reddish tears or lumps. Okay, now next word is appetite. Okay, so what is the meaning of appetite? Appetite means desire for food. Okay, now hearty means large. Okay, and disgrace means what? Dishonor or shame. Okay, then mop means what? Mop means brood. Okay, Ravi always mopped whenever he was punished. Okay, so mop means brood. Okay, now see, now mop means spend your time doing nothing and feeling very sorry for yourself. Okay, that is brood. So Ravi always mopped whenever he was punished. Okay, means he spent his time means he was not doing anything, nothing, but he is feeling very sorry for himself. Okay, now see, next word is tremble. Okay, so what is the tremble? Tremble means shaking, shake or vibrate, mostly out of fear. Okay, and next word is snubbish. Snubbish means short or fat nose. Snubbish means short or fat nose. Okay, and sneer means unpleasant look or smile. Okay, and scuttle means what? Run away. Okay, run with quick short step means scuttle. Okay, so see here we have seen some words also. Okay, I hope you just you copy it or you remember it. Okay, so whenever I will whenever I will ask you about the words, okay, meaning of the word, that time you have to tell me. Okay, so if you have any problem with words, then you can ask me with the help of the chat box. Okay, now see here some words are there and I am telling you the use of that words in another sentence. Okay, so see some words are here. First one is the spy. Okay, so spy means what? Observe, watch, trail, and what I told you, see. Okay, spy means see. See, there is a use of that word in another sentence. Okay, you have to look carefully if you want to spy a ladybug in your garden. Means you have to look carefully if you want to see a ladybug in your garden. You want to watch a ladybug in a garden. Okay, now second was one word is woolly grub. Woolly grub means what? A funny young caterpillar. Okay, so insect like a caterpillar. Okay, so insect like this. See, insect like this. Okay, now see a a furry young caterpillar. Okay, I saw a woolly grub in the garden. Okay, and you can uh, ever see that woolly grub on the tree. You can see that woolly grub on small plants also. Okay, so see the what is the meaning of woolly grub? That is young caterpillar or a furry caterpillar. Okay, now next word is tremble. Tremble means what? Shake or vibrate, mostly out of fear. Okay, so see we can use that word in the another sentence. Okay, the door and windows trembled due to the loudspeaker, means shaking or vibrating because of loudspeaker. Okay, now see sometimes if someone scold you, okay, so you can also tremble, you can also shake or vibrate. Okay, if now it is about the scolding. Okay, so now see means means I give you example when you just fear from someone. Okay, now see next example I am giving shaking, that if there is a cold, if there is so much cold is there. Okay, so at that time also you feel tremble, you feel shake. Okay, so tremble means shaking or vibrant. Okay, now see tread. Tread means walk or step carefully. Tread means walk or step carefully. So we must tread softly on snow. We must walk carefully, so carefully on snow. Okay, now see next word is snubbish. Snubbish means somewhat small and pressed in. Okay, the girl who lives down the street has a snubbish nose. Okay, snubbish means what? Short or fat nose. Okay, the girl who lives down the street has a short or fat nose. Okay. Now see sneer. Sneer means what? An unpleasant look or smile. So here there is a sentence, the angry dog seems to sneer at me. Okay, means the angry dog is giving unpleasant look to me. Okay, now see next one is scuttle off. Okay, scuttle means to run with quick short step. Okay, rush hurriedly with short quick step. Then the kids scuttle off towards his mother. The kid scuttle off means run with quick or short steps towards the mother. Now see next one is disgrace. Okay, disgrace means dishonor, shame. Okay, the son's behavior brought disgrace to the father. Disgrace means shame. Okay, now see next one is mop. Mop means what? Spend your time doing nothing and feeling very sorry for yourself. Okay, that is mop. So Ravi always mopped whenever he was punished. Okay, now see next one is wattle gum. Okay, wattle gum, a gum extracted from a plant. Some insects feed on wattle gum. Okay, so see students, here there are some words and I told you meaning of that words and I told you use the words in the another sentences. Okay, now you have to try also spy. You can use that spy word. Okay, then appetite also you can use in your daily talking. Okay, daily conversation. Then somehow words also you can use, that sneer. Okay, snobbish. Then scuttle also you can use. Okay, so try to use this word in your speaking. Okay, so here now I'm asking you some question and you have to give me the answer of the questions. Okay, so first question for you: is the insect described in the poem is a real insect? Give me answer by using the chat option fast.